Welcome to Slow and Steady, the podcast where you get to follow along as we build products in public. Each week we'll give you an honest peek into our lives as we share our struggles, our wins, and everything in between. I'm Benedicte, and I'm feeling pretty relaxed.
And I'm Benedikt. Today is August 9th. This is episode number 186, and I'm feeling a bit annoyed.
What's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
I had some issues on production today that derailed my plan for the entire day, so I'm annoyed.
With yourself then, I guess.
With myself then, yes. Of course, with myself. That's when I'm most annoyed, when I'm annoyed about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, not the end of the world, nothing too dramatic, but apparently, I'm still not 100% sure what happened, but we managed to send a fairly large broadcast, and instead of sending everyone one email for that broadcast, we sent almost everyone 2 emails of the same broadcast. And
okay,
it does
so just double up.
Yeah, but not exactly. Like, it's not exactly double. I think 80 people didn't get it twice. So it's super weird. Yeah, I don't know. We did some hunting for the root cause. And I'm not entirely sure we found it, but we at least found one way how this could happen. It's not necessarily the way that it happened, but it seems to be related to connection issues to Redis, where some of the sidekick code we have to send jobs into the system, it has like this reliable push feature where, like, when there is a connection error, it retries it. And it looks like in cases where it sent the command but didn't get a reply, it would send the command again, but Redis might have received it. And because the job that we were pushing wasn't idempotent or whatever that's called. Like, if you run it twice, it will do the work twice instead of just doing it once. And it might be related to that. So, yeah, I don't know. We changed the job so it would, well, for one, we would ensure like it's unique in the queue, and then when it does its job, it checks that it hasn't done its job before. So I guess it's good now, but yeah.
I think those things they're called something, and I can't recall. I'm so bad at like remembering, but I remembering reading about it in SwissX serverless handbook, and it's some kind of like general problem. Like, you know, if you send a messenger running to a general saying attack or not attack, like if you don't have an answer, like do you attack or don't you attack, or like there's there's that. What if the message didn't come through problem? But I wouldn't know because it's got some kind of name. And it's big in like the serverless world, right? Where you have different systems talking to each other. Not that I guess you're not like totally serverless, but like queuing up jobs and like they're independent systems. And
it's a lot of independent systems, and one of them might have had a connection issue. All of them might have had a connection issue. It's not entirely clear. Like, we did our best to investigate this, but it's always hard to do this after the fact. And I mean, what we noticed is that there were some connection issues to Redis in that time frame. Like, there was problems slightly before and during, so it might be related to that, but maybe it was something completely different. But I feel like the fixes we introduced should at least, well, I mean, they're not really fixes. Like, they're just like mechanism to
improvements,
duplicates. Yeah. And they should, like, whatever this cost us, it should at least not happen again, even though we don't fully understand what caused it. But yeah, what's a bummer is, well, I don't know. Like, looking at, like, we did some more investigation and we noticed that this general problem was around since 2019, so basically since we built this. But I think I identified 22 broadcasts where we sent someone a message more than once, But it was usually like 1 or 2 people. At this time, it was like almost all of them. So it
But
looks
then the
like this has been
interesting
a
question
problem for a
is,
while.
how do you check if somebody did not get an email?
I mean, that's not too difficult, I guess, because we keep all the messages that we send, so we can actually tell who received a message or who didn't receive a message. And yeah, I don't know. It's a bug.
But in the
It
game
was a
of,
problem.
I feel like in the game of email, as an email service provider, it's better actually that somebody got it twice than that they didn't get it. Like if you're sending some kind of important like sales message or something like that, like yeah, it's annoying that it comes twice. Like it looks a little unprofessional, but it would have been worse if people like didn't get the sales message, right?
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of ways we could screw up harder than this.
I was trying to make you feel good, and you're like, yes, there are many ways we could screw up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I mean, I feel bad about this because it's obviously a bug and it's not good, but in the end, it's not the end of the world. Like they got that message twice. It's so what? Like they delete both messages, or I don't know.
Like
again
hard
and again, like
unsubscribe this annoying.
what's weird is the scale of it. Like,
yeah,
I mean, in a way, it's good because that pointed out the issue. Like previously, we didn't notice that like 1 or 2 people would get a message twice. Now it was like more like 160K or something like that got the message twice. At least that pointed out the issue.
Yes.
But now like we have measures in place to prevent this from happening again. So all good.
I must say, being now that I work and have access to all of Outseta, Slack, and then also at the bank, I also have access to the incident channels in both, and it's humbling to see like what happens in different. Like I can't go into all of them, especially the bank ones, but it's like things happen. Like they're all systems have issues.
Things happen all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, things happen all the time, and you're like, wow.
And again, like it's wild the things that like can go wrong that you didn't even consider that could go wrong.
And things that only can go wrong with scale. Like some things can only go wrong with scale. Like it would never happen if it was 10 messages, right?
Yeah.
And
I spent most of the morning trying to replicate the issue in my local setup, and I never managed to the code itself. Like everything that I wrote is quote unquote correct. It works like intended, but apparently, depending on the surroundings and the environment it runs in, and like small connection issues or just delays and connections to servers and stuff like that, apparently it screws up bad enough to cause a big issue. But it's super hard to pin down and to replicate. So
and I really feel like that's a little, or like what I took away from the serverless handbook when I read it, and I should probably go back and like reread some of it whenever I'll need to create something of that size. But what I also took away is like a tiny, like if it only occurs, in like 1 out of 10,000 in a small system, we're like, oh, it happens once every 10,000. Like that's almost nothing. But then suddenly when you have like 400,000 emails, that is a lot of emails. Or, suddenly that like 1 in, which seems super small, is actually a pretty high number and could have a high impact. But like in a smaller system, we're like, well, that's going to be so rare. We don't kind of even consider that. But then as soon as you have that scale, you're like, whoa. 1 out of yeah. And I guess you're feeling that now because you're scaling.
Probably, yeah. Anyways, I think it's fixed. So all good. I hope the customer isn't too upset with us. It shouldn't happen again, at least not this particular problem. But what's annoying me is that I was planning to do something else today, and now it's already in the afternoon and I didn't get to any of it.
Just be done with this podcast, shut off the computer, and go outside. Or are you also in the middle of a storm?
It's not a storm, but it's raining, so it's not that fun outside. But I need to get some groceries and stuff like that later on. So yeah, this will literally be the end of my workday.
Well, that sounds pretty good. I'm going to log off and then I'm going to exercise because I haven't in a week, which is not good. I'm supposed to do it at least twice a week. So I'm going to log off and exercise, but I can't exercise out on the beautiful like patio or deck or whatever we call it here at the summer house because we are in the middle of Hans, the summer storm of 2023, I think. And we're just waiting it out on an island and hoping we have enough food to tide us over.
How much food do you have left?
You know what? I do think we have enough food, but toilet paper, on the other hand, I'm not entirely sure.
Oh boy.
But I mean, we can like when there's a lull, like it's fairly short boat ride over to the other side. It's just that we have a very small boat, and when the winds have been, I think yesterday there were peaks of like 25 meters per second, which is like it's not like the highest class of storm, but it's like the highest where you're like still going outside and not being asked to stay indoors. So it's not like a fun experience having to go over or cross that we can. So it will be fine, but we'd rather not until it settles. So it's supposed to settle like by Friday. It's supposed to settle and be like partially nice. So hopefully they're correct. And we're also just extending our stay because there are road blockages, there are floods, all the way from Sweden, where we are in Gothenburg, all the way up to Oslo. So we're just gonna stay put and just stay put because we can. School hasn't started yet, so we're good.
Yeah.
But work-wise, or why I'm so relaxed, since we talked about you being a little annoyed, and then we can go back to you, is because I'm in like cabin mode. I've started working, but I still, because there's no school and we're just here at the island, it's like, what day is it even? I don't know. Like I have to keep checking because I had some at the beginning of the summer. I think even before leaving for the cabin, I had some Mondays when we have all hands on Outseta where I'm like I didn't realize it was Monday. And then I managed to actually like get it to the meeting, like within the 2 to 3 minutes after the meeting started. But then when I came to the cabin, and I also been driving back and forth to Oslo to take care of my mom, and I had like no idea what day it was. And it wasn't until the next day where I was like, oh my God, it was Monday yesterday. Like I completely bailed on this meeting. So I've started sending messages in the Slack. It's like, I am aware it's Monday. I'll be seeing you at the meeting, just so they know that, that I am aware of the weekdays. But I love that. It's just so nice, just like chilling and still getting work done, but it's just a little less structured. And it's really nice for, I guess, 3 to 5 weeks. And after that, I'm ready to head back to the city and get some structure to my day again. But it's nice to kind of crave that, because sometimes I can get a little rebellious towards structure where I'm like, this life is boring, having this kind of structure, and then having it be completely kind of unstructured and just people hanging out and, oh, let's make food. Like we were supposed to record this yesterday, and like I actually thought I had a fairly good plan, but my slow roast was done an hour before it should be, and I had to message our friends who live like 2 minutes away on this little island and be like, you got to come for the roast now. Like it's happening now, not in an hour. And they just came, and we ended up spending the whole, afternoon, night, just looking at the weather and drinking wine and eating the food. And it was just lovely and super unstructured. But I'm feeling the itch. Like by the end of next week, I'm going to be like, it's good. School starts again and everybody has to kind of structure up. But yeah. And other than that, so I've been doing work. I've been doing Outseta work. I've been working with Outseta plus a WeWeb. think it's called WeWeb integration, and then also an Outseta and Supabase integration, which is really fun. And now I had to do the write-up, which is not fun. But figuring it out is fun. The write-up, not so fun. So that's on my agenda, that I have to get my findings down on paper so that people can benefit from them. Because otherwise, what's the point?
Yes.
But I must say, no-code tools, like, oh my God, like WeWeb, if you want to just create an app and it doesn't have to have like a super intricate custom UI, like you can make apps like super fast and they look pretty good. And I think it's Vue behind the scenes, but it's very much towards like apps where it's like, typical app flows, not a content site, but like app flows.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel Framer is more kind of a Webflow competitor, and because it's you can create custom React components in Framer, you could obviously make an app, but you'll have to make a lot of the kind of UI changes and like make sure that's correct yourself. While in WeWeb, like all of their defaults is towards apps, so you can make like a to-do list, or you can make project planning. You could do they have like all of those kind of spreadsheet types things where you just want a little bit of a different UI. So, and we're early days still. Like it's going to be exciting to see kind of where this like no code space takes us. Yeah. And then with Outseta and Supabase, I had a lot of fun because I had to figure out how to take one jot, which I now know they're called JWTs, are called jots for some weird reason.
Okay.
Yes. At least the Americans call them jots. So how to take one JWT or JSON Web Token and decode it and then sign it with another key, or like decode it and verify it and then re-sign it with another key, so that you can do row level security in Supabase with an Outseta jot. So that was kind of fun, and I made it work and had to write some Dino code. So
nice.
Yeah. And I think it's like, I don't know, like figuring those things out. I don't know why. It's like a little like detective. It's so much fun. But then the write-up. So.
Yeah, like the problem is like it's exciting until you figured it out, and then it's boring because you know how it works, right?
Exactly. But like if somebody's gonna pay me for that work, I need to be able to write it up. Like it's not, you can't have one without the other.
Yeah,
because
totally.
nobody's interested in me figuring out how things integrate and then just keeping it in my head.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works. No, so I think like it's like, when I do more of them and I have more of a system in place, like it's gonna be easier, hopefully, to be like, oh, prerequisites, like this guide will solve or like answer X, and I kind of started that with like WeWeb to kind of have a structure moving forward for different integrations. So I think I'll make it work. I just need to be in a little bit more of a structured environment.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But that's about it for me, and support, of course. But
cool.
But yeah. And working on proposals, but they're the same ones as at the beginning of the summer. So that's it.
You mean proposals for like new client work?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, and then summer of UI tweaks, which I see you've been like tackling as well.
Yes. At least deliberately try to do like 1 or 2 per week. So last week I did small tooltips for buttons without labels, and this week I changed the select box to nice buttons, which like wasn't my idea, but we had this design in Figma since, I don't know, forever. And we never got around to actually implementing it. So I figured this was the perfect time to actually do that change and make that change. So thanks a lot for starting this initiative, because otherwise we probably ignore it for another year or so.
And they look really nice. They look really nice.
Yeah,
The
they
big,
do.
I call them boxes, but I should have done buttons because I quote tweeted with "I like big boxes," but it would have been much better with "I like big buttons," and I cannot lie.
Yeah. But like the fun thing is, like, it wasn't a new UI component even. It was literally just like switching one thing for the other,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess is totally in line for the summer of UI tweaks, because it's not summer of UI reinventing. It's just like small changes here and there that actually improve things. So yeah, was a perfect candidate for that.
Yeah, we've also been doing. I haven't added that, but Bernard at Outseta also fixed the UI tooltip that didn't change based on your selection. So it got
Mm-hmm.
like a little confusion there, where you're like, okay, but did I select it? Did I not select it? Because that then the helpful UI tip wasn't so helpful anymore. So he's fixed that.
Nice.
Yeah. Other
Yeah.
things you've done?
Other things I've done. Yeah, it's been a while since we talked, so we've actually done a lot of things. More notably, we spent
Because you've actually
some.
been working full time.
Yeah, I've been actually been working full time. Yeah, true. Um, we've been updating our front end dependencies a couple of weeks ago, so we're finally on the latest Ember version and Ember data version and all of that. And we also took the opportunity to start. Like by default, Ember ships with code linting tools, like for
Mm-hmm.
JavaScript and templates. And so far, we've been ignoring those and just like not running them. But we were foolish enough to decide to finally start doing this, and like you don't look excited. Yeah.
I don't like excited for ignoring linting rules. No, I do not look excited about that. I'm excited you're now doing them.
Yeah, we're now doing that. I mean, the problem is, like, our app is 5 years old by now, right?
Mm,
So I'm not entirely sure linting was a default thing back then
mm,
in the project. And conventions also changed a lot over time.
mm,
So
mm-hmm,
what was considered good 5 years ago isn't necessarily considered good today.
mm,
Um, so last year, when we first talked about this, there were still too many issues to reasonably fix them all. But we have
mm-hmm,
since like worked our way out of the old patterns that the framework encouraged towards the new ones. So again, we were foolish enough to think we could just like quickly fix all of
mm.
them and then continue. Well, the quickly turned into a week. So we spent fixing linter errors for an entire week. But I think they are, yeah, by now they're all gone. Like we fixed everything. Um, you also introduced linting for style sheets, which is also quite nice. Um, and again, like with the upgraded dependencies and the linting, the code base is as shiny as it has ever been. Like, I'm not saying it's perfect and like there's nothing we can improve, but it's in a much better shape than it was before. And uh, that week of work definitely paid off in terms of like code quality and cleanliness. But again, we underestimated the effort. We were like, this is just a handful of issues. We just quickly fixed them. But yeah, it was insane. I think we never committed that many changes in a week than we did during that week.
There's a similar effort at the bank where it's always been TypeScript, but it hasn't been. I'm not that into TypeScript exactly, so I might be saying this wrong, but we hadn't turned on like strict, and we didn't turn on it breaking when building if the
Mm-hmm.
TypeScript wasn't correct. So there was warnings, but you could ignore them kind of, and you would just get like squiggly lines in your editor, but nothing like really bad happened. And that has now been turned on in all the projects and or is going to be turned on. I think each app can turn it on themselves, but all of the tooling surrounding it had to be fixed before it could be turned on in the apps, because we are consuming then common libraries and they need to be fixed before we can consume them with strict TypeScript. And it's been like a summer job, which is like a perfect use of summer because, in most of Europe, things slow down and there's not that many people at work. And there's also a code freeze. Like you can't do any publish any new things into the code base in the summer because there are less people on support and less people all around. So it was like a great, and somebody took this upon themselves, and it's like finishing up now. And I think it's going to be like super helpful moving forward. Like it's going to be such a big help for all of us. And that somebody took the time to do that. I'm just in awe, like that they did that. And just very happy for their work. And then one person is now doing it so that we can run a little script on our code. And what it will do is that will create a comment that kind of turns it off for every error we have, so that we can still kind of build and work with our code. But then it has like a little to do, and then you can go through all of those comments, the to do comments, and like fix it, and then enable linting or TypeScript checking, I guess, for each line after we fixed it, so that it doesn't kind of completely stop us or like completely stop what we're working on. But it's cool, and it's cool to see. But it's like affects like basically every file.
Yes. That's exactly what happened for us as well. And we had a similar approach. Like Leo was like running them all and then adding them to an ignore file, and then we split them up between us and like started. I think at some point he was fixing stuff from the top of the list, and I started from the bottom, and eventually we met in the middle and had fixed them all. So this was kind of a little bit of a breather we had between the experimental implementation of the visual workflow builder, and now, like since last week, Leo's primarily working on the actual visual workflow builder. And Jane, like during the week we were doing the linting stuff, Jane came up with some really nice designs. So now it's like everyone's super excited because the implementation and the design like finally come together, and it's looking really nice. I'm really excited about this. So that's what we're working on at the moment. At least what Leo's working on. Backend is mostly done for this, and I'm working on the continuation of the trigger refactoring we've been doing over the last couple of weeks. So the server side has been done for quite a while now, but I spent a couple of days since we last talked on a new trigger component, like in the UI, that now works with the new data structure, where it then like basically looks like the old one, but works with the new data structure and is a little bit more flexible. And the nice thing is, like previously we had hard coded all the triggers, and now with the new changes and the new UI component, it's basically a configuration file. Like you can pass the component a schema of sorts, and it will figure out like the UI based on it. And that's really nice. It makes it super easy to add new stuff. And that's what I'm currently working with to get our conversion goal implementation done, which ironically was also one of those projects that I think earlier this year I was like, we've got reporting, we've got triggers, merge them together, you get conversion goals out of it. And now we're in month 3 or so of this project. And it's only now, like, my plan for this week was to finish it and actually make some good progress today. That didn't happen, so maybe I'm not able to finish it, but I'll at least try. But it turned out to be one of those features where it sounded easy, and now that we are in it and like building it, like the amount of open questions is just insane. And the like, not like just like the open questions we have, but it feels like the open questions the world has about this. Because I tried answering some of those questions by Googling with no success, and we had some conversation with peers and different who run similar products and analytics products, and they also don't have the answers. So it feels like
This is one of those make a decision and then just that's how you do
basically,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the thing we're struggling with in particular with this is like, so the idea of conversion goals is basically something happens and then there's a window of like, I don't know, 90 days where something else happens that you then can attribute to the initial thing happening. So in our case, it's like, I don't know, you send an email and you wanted that email to trigger the person to buy. And if they buy within, I don't know, a week, that counts as a conversion on that initial message. But then how do you calculate the conversion rate on that? And not just in one case, but in like 100 cases in parallel, and stuff that happened inside the window and outside the window, and you're only tracking like occurrences of conversions or like occurrences of the events, and don't necessarily have correlation to who did it. And it's just I'm doing a bad job of describing it, but like calculating any sort of conversion rate is weird.
Yeah, and then you're back to like, was it that email? Like, it could have been that they just like,
yes, that's the thing we decided to be fine with since day one, because in the end you don't know.
No.
But it might have contributed. But like the thing
But it's the same as if it was a billboard ad, right? Because like in the olden days you would, or you still do, like you have a billboard ad and but then I guess you never would have looked at one person, but you would say like, we can see that sales are up in this area surrounding this billboard ad. So something has happened, but you can't say like that one person driving past it bought because of that. So I guess the same thing would be for email. Even though you have that data, if they opened or not, or if they clicked or not, it's still not like, did that person buy it? It's more, did this increase buying?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're trying to do. But then, for example, if you look at like all the messages sent over a week and then all the conversions over a week, you might be tempted to just like divide the two to get like a conversion rate. But you end up with situations where you have like a 200% conversion rate and stuff like that, which doesn't make a lot of sense. And then we started thinking about like offsetting the windows by the length of the conversion window. So we'd compare this week's conversion with last week's emails, which also is incorrect. I think the latest thing we are trying to do is like have a rolling window of like the average over the last 90 days or so. And I don't know. It's super weird and super awkward, and we're still trying to figure it out. But the plan for this week, as I said, is like to ship a version, even if incorrect. So we have some real world data to work with.
Behind the feature flag, then, I guess.
Yes, behind the feature flag. Yeah. Again, I thought this was easy. It's not.
I mean, it's just one pretty little graph. Like, how hard can it be?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like one number that you have to show, and then
it's like one widget on your page. It's like a widget. It's just a little widget. Like, how hard can it be?
Yeah. Where a similar thing happened on the design for the new for the visual workflow builder, where Jane casually threw in an undo and then redo button in the UI.
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah, maybe not for version 1. Because for her it was like dragging an icon. I'm not entirely sure we can do it, at least not in the current version of things.
Okay.
Yeah, like it is complex. It's very complex because it's so many entities working together to get that workflow. If you do, yeah, I'm not getting into this. Like, it's complicated. we're deliberately ignoring a lot of things for version 1.
Yes.
So
No, but that makes sense. And also with visual stuff, like undo and redo becomes so much harder because it's like if you moved something, if you moved something and it doesn't logically change something, it just like changes it visually a little bit. Then is that an undo? And like how long do you have to move before it to be an undo? Because it's pretty annoying if every pixel turns out being an undo. So if you're undoing a move, you're like undoing every pixel.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you should only undo after you like let go of the thing. That's when we capture something that can be undone. Yeah, it's
yeah.
But I mean, every software has it, so how hard can it be?
And then like you're editing messages inside the workflow, so is doing an undo on the workflow level also undoing like this one word change that you made in a message like 5 levels down, stuff like that. Like it's complicated. So that's for now we're not adding those 2 buttons, even though they were in the initial design.
They can stay on the Figma file.
Yes,
for another couple of years.
A lot of stuff just stays in Figma and never sees the light of day.
Oh well, I am looking forward to seeing this visual builder because I hate visual builders, and I think that you're gonna make a good one.
Hopefully, and maybe we should run it past you before we launch it.
Yes, make an independent one like last time, and I'll have fun with it.
Yeah, we do. Like, I can actually send it to you, I guess. I have to double check, but we're working on it. Like, there's a storybook version of it.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'll try to undo and be annoyed.
Yeah, and you will not be able to do it.
Yes. Well, good one. I'll see you in 2 weeks or talk to you in 2 weeks.
No, you won't, because I will be on vacation.
What? Are you going on? Like, you don't do vacation.
Yeah, it's my first vacation this year. So, yeah, I will not be there. Actually,
I'm very happy for you.
This is my last week of work, and then I'm off as one of us can be, right? But for 3 weeks. So I will only be back in September.
Whoa.
Yes.
So I'll see you in 4 weeks then.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And you can still decide if you want to have a guest on while I'm away.
See.
You probably
DM me guest suggestions, folks. DM me guest suggestions, and I'll make it happen.
Cool. Well, then I guess have
see
a nice rest of your week.
And have a good vacation.
Bye.
Bye-bye.